Are you ready? 20 seconds start now. Ten seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. You are here with us on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. I got to apologize. I got Cheese all grumpy over here. I left him off. I'm like, where is he? And I forgot to send the invite link to him. So it's completely my fault. I'll take all the blame for it in the world. All of you people who are shooting us messages like, when are you starting? What's going on? It was all this guy. All his fault.
Getting all these texts.
At least we know we got a few fans out there that are waiting on us.
A few. Yeah.
All right, buddy. We have got a lot to get to here today. We got a bunch of NFL. We got a bunch of MLB to get to. All kinds of topics to talk about. And today, Cheese is going to get to turn the tables on me. Because we are going to do the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5. But Cheese is going to ask the questions, and I am going to be under fire. Oh, I don't know if I should have agreed to this or not. We'll find out in a minute. I'm going to find out what it's like to be in this hot seat here, buddy. So, Cheese, how you been?
Been good. Been very good. Had a good weekend. You a little nervous about the 5 Flamin' 5?
I am a little nervous, actually. I didn't think I was going to be until, a few seconds ago, until I really realized that this was coming. I get why you're always nervous. You don't know what's coming here. I have no unearthly idea.
I'm never nervous. I'm like, cool, chill. Go with the flow, man. Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Yeah, what up, dude?
I need some of your drugs then.
I don't do drugs. Not at all.
Not at all.
No,
not sharing.
Not for me. Not for me. Not for me.
Oh shoot! All right, buddy. Hey, that is fine. We're gonna do it a little different today, so that no problem whatsoever. Of course, we've already got one thing on the chat over here. I'll look at it here real quick before we get up there.
Yep.
Hello, how you doing?
Just got a text. People want to know how much we can talk about baseball. Like, is this mostly baseball? I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of baseball today. So yeah, it's good if you're a baseball fan. Some people just watch us for the baseball, and they're like, when we talk football, they turn it off. But that's okay,
That's
all
right.
fine. It's okay.
Which one do you want to do first, Cheese? You want to do the football first or the baseball first?
That's
After
up to you.
the
The football will be a lot quicker, but it's up to you. What do you think?
I think we should probably go football first, and then we'll close everything out with the baseball. And then we are going to do a top 10, ladies and gentlemen. We did not do one last week because of all the other stuff we had going on, but we are going to do one this week. Cheese, what's our top 10 going to be this week, sir?
It is top 10 first baseman in MLB. And I got to say, this is the hardest list I have ever done. Took the most time. It's really tough because there's a lot of really good first basemen. Did you have trouble with it too?
I did. I had trouble with it was one of those things where it's like, okay, I know who the top few are. And then as I got to looking and researching, it's like, I'm not sure if I know who the top few are. My number one stayed the same all the way throughout, but 2, 3, 4 kind of shuffled around. And then the bottom kind of stayed where I thought they would be, but the middle kind of shuffled around. And it was one of those lists that I thought I knew until I started researching, and then I'm not sure I knew.
I'll say this. I wanted to put 13 guys in the top 10. So that's how tough it was. And the order, like the difference between 6 and 11 is not much.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So
right. It'll be interesting to see where we go, because I almost guarantee you we're going to have different lists. And it should be a pretty good ending to our show here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
What we'll do is we'll do the top we'll do the top 5, Flaming 5 for you. Then we'll quickly do the NFL, and then we'll hit the baseball. Because yeah. So no, you go ahead. You want to intro it? Because
Sure. I will nervously intro it here. I do want to say
that's
before
like
I
crazy.
go too far that
Yes.
we got a new show. The Sports Pulpit is now on All Gloves Off Sports Media. It replaced the Seeing the Whole Field. I've got
Yeah.
2 good episodes up now. I just released the other episode about an hour ago. And then I've got about 5 or 6 more that will be released later on this week. And I'm working on a Tiger Woods one. So we'll get to all of that here in just a little bit.
Now, I'll just say this real quick. You should check him out because I really enjoyed the Juan Soto one. Because you think Juan Soto is a very good player, you don't really put him in category with one stat with some other really great players. But he is very good, very, very good, like elite at one particular thing. So make sure you check it out on his on the YouTube at All Gloves Off SM.
Sports
And
Media.
Sports media. Oh, sports media. Okay, I did your X. Okay, All Gloves Off SM on X. All Gloves Off Sports Media on YouTube. There's a great Juan Soto one that I watched, and yeah, make sure you check it out because Juan Soto, yeah, maybe he's a little better than I thought.
Okay. So it's all about accomplishments and what these guys can accomplish in this upcoming season. I thought it was interesting. We do 4 offensive ones and then we do 4 pitching ones as well. So the third one just debuted. It is Jose Ramirez. The 4th one will come out tomorrow for offense, and then we'll do 4 pitching. And then somewhere along the line, I'm going to do a Tiger Woods one that I'm still working on. So we'll get to all of that here momentarily. Cheese, tell us a little bit about your channel before we get going to this 5 Flaming 5 and 5. You did a show today too.
My channel is all about football, college football, NFL, and big emphasis on the NFL draft. April is my busiest month. I will be making 10 to 12 videos a week, and it's at Football with Cheese, CHEEZ, like you can see on the screen. On X at Football Cheese. And I did a mock draft Monday. I really focused on 3 teams. I did 3-round mock. I did Jets, I did Dolphins, and I did Browns. 3 teams that need a lot, and they have a lot of picks. So I focused on that. And then I, did a video I've been promising for a month. So I had a lot of notes. So it was pretty long, but about the Packers general manager, why I think he's not very good. And the media runs cover for him. So I have a video tomorrow coming about, well, specifically, okay, what's about? I just lost it. I have like this whole list of videos. I know tomorrow's video is about a rule change that we're actually not going to talk about tonight. So yeah, make sure I'm not going to tell you which one, but so make sure you check out my channel. We'll talk about a rule change tomorrow.
It is not. Don't worry about it. Just keep watching. You'll see what it is. We'll be good.
No, no. We are both Christians.
Yes. I'm just telling you that we have a new show called The Sports Pulpit, and you're asking me about gay stuff. Stop, all right? Just
Flamin' is not Flamin' is fire, not that thing. We're more likely to retweet Travion Henderson than say Colin Kaepernick. Let's just put it that way.
All right, buddy. So let's just go ahead and start into this, right? Let's get this 5 Flaming 5 thing out of the way. I do like your mock draft. Remind me in a little bit, we have one guy already signed besides you and me for our mock draft that we're going to do the Sunday before. I'll tell everybody who that is if you'll remind me. I've got it over here on the side, but I got so much stuff over here. Just remind me later. We'll make sure we tell everybody.
We'll go over it later, but we're doing it the Sunday before the draft. We'll go live, and we do it an hour before. We're going to do it 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. So we're a little hour before for your convenience on that Sunday night. So,
all right, buddy. So the 5 Flaming 5 is this:
Yes.
5 questions, 5 minutes. If you make it, you get a 6th question. I take it you have the 6th one ready, right?
So basically, no, I got this. So I will ask Mike 5 questions. He has 5 minutes to answer all the questions. If he completes all 5 questions in those 5 minutes, we will talk more about the 5th question. And I know he wants to talk more about it. So if he does not complete in time, wait, it says here, I will still burst into flame. Oh my God, Mike's life is in my hand. Doesn't matter who does it. I will be the one to burst in flame, no matter what, if you don't complete, is what it says here. Oh no, that's not good. Oh, so Mike's life is in my hands. I will burst into flame if he doesn't complete it in time, apparently. Yes, that's yes. Anything you want to add before we get started?
No, just let me wipe the sweat off my brow here real quick. Okay.
So
Okay.
the countdown will start when I read the first question. I did the longest question first, so you have more time.
Okay. I'm ready, buddy, whenever you are.
Okay. Team USA's World Baseball Classic roster, we talked about a lot, is basically cursed so far this season. Paul Skeens was awful in his first start. Logan Webb, awful in his first start. Cal Riley, hitting 133, striking out a ton. Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, struggling, 154. Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Harper, hitting under 100. We've talked about this a lot, Mike. Are you willing to come around a little on my side that it's better for the player to go through all of spring training with his team on the routine? And let's go.
Okay, so yes, I am willing to come around to you on your side a little bit. I didn't think it was all that big of a deal, but all of these players doing like this. I'm coming around to your side a little bit. They all need to just stay there, and the World Baseball Classic needs to be done in a different time of the year in order for Major League Baseball to participate in it. Maybe it's something that we get the minor league players to participate in, and we shine a little bit more of a light on them. Go ahead.
Okay. Well said. All right. The Red Sox, get this, are 2 for 58 with 32 strikeouts with men in scoring position. 2 for 58 with men in scoring position to start this season. This marks the worst batting average in men in scoring position for the first 4 games of a season since they first started doing the stat in 1962. So I have another stat, and you tell me which you think is worse. We mentioned Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh started 0 for 10 with 9 strikeouts to start the year. He had 60 homers last year and was an MVP finalist. A lot of people thought he should have won. So what's worse, starting 0 for 10 with 9 strikeouts for Cal Raleigh, or the Red Sox going 2 for 58 with men in scoring position in their first 3 games?
Well, I'd say the team stat is more telling. I mean, you know, one guy being in a slump happens all the time. A whole team being in a slump is pretty hard to do. So I'm going to say that that's worse. But I'm also going to say this, and I'm going to add it because, you know, you only have so much time here. But someone on this channel said that Cal Raleigh was doing something to where it made him a superstar last year. And now all of a sudden, maybe that guy's right. Go ahead with your next question.
Certainly suspicious. You're the one who said that. Okay. Third topic. Reds first baseman Sal Stewart going into play today, and he's actually homered already. But going into play today, he was hitting 667 with a 765 on base percentage. He's one of the best starts I have ever seen through 4 games. I have not seen hardly anyone talk about this in the media at all. Mike, tell me, why is no one talking about rookie first baseman Sal Stewart?
Well, he did just make National League Player of the Week for the first week of the season. So they're talking about it a little bit. But I think we're going to talk about this more in the baseball segment. There's a bunch of rookies that are doing really well. It's not just Sal, and we'll get to some of those. But I think if it was just one rookie doing really, really well, people would talk about it more. But right now, especially in the National League, as we pointed out on our last show, there's going to be several people who are going to be doing well. And I think because there's so many rookies doing so well, it's hard to just single one of them out. So they're kind of talking about the collective group and not just Sal Stewart. But daggone, I was the guy who on the Red Hot Red show said that the Reds should keep them down in the minor leagues for a little bit. And I'm glad they didn't. And they made fun of me on the show on Sunday too. But I'll take that ribbon. I deserve it.
Oh, he can really hit. Okay. Alex Bregman of the Chicago Cubs hit 2 home runs on Sunday. Get this, you love stats. The Cubs third baseman last year combined hit 1 home run before the All-Star break in 2025. Yes. So my question for you is, do you think people focus too much about the Cubs losing Kyle Tucker's production and not enough on how much production they gained at third base?
Yes, because as you just pointed out, they needed production at third base. They've got other outfielders. Third base was a point of need. They went out and they addressed that, and honestly, they should be better because of it. Even though it's Bregman over Tucker, I think in the long haul this season they'll be a better team because they got him.
Okay, we got one more topic. It's football related. Okay. Oh, running out of time. Okay, the Cardinals pick number 3 overall in the draft. You are a Cardinals fan. I went through a bunch of mocks this weekend, knowing I was going to ask this question. And the most common player drafted the Cardinals by the draft analyst is Francis Mauigoa, right tackle, Miami. Right tackle is a huge need, but to me, it seems like a reach. Would you be okay with them drafting Francis Mauigoa?
Depending on who's up there, but probably not. I want Arvell Reese. I want Sonny Styles. Both of those, one of those two are going to be there because, of course, we know who's going number 1. So I would rather them get one of those two. In fact, I'd give you a few more, but I've only got 7 seconds left, so I won't.
I will mention a few more in the next question. And I didn't die. Okay, thank you.
Yay!
You're not killing me. Okay.
All right, that's great. Whew, that was actually stressful. I know what that's like now, man. That's kind of fun, actually.
I actually shortened the question because I was like, oh, he's not going to have enough time. But no, I went through a lot of mocks, and the Cardinals pick fascinates me because I saw 6 players, and I went through 7 mocks. I looked at like Daniel Jeremiah. I worked at Charles Davis, looked at, Dane Brugler, all these big guys. And I saw 6 players in the first 7 mocks I did. A bunch of them started, Mauigoa became more popular as it went on, but I think the Cardinals are going to change the draft. I think what they do will have a huge impact on the next few picks and going forward. Whether they go Mauigoa or whether they go a really good defensive player. I think the Titans might want to go defense, but maybe their defensive player they take maybe the Cardinals take a defensive player and then they're like, okay, we'll take Jeremiah Love. So you mentioned Arvell Reese. Let's just assume, because I think he's going second. Let's assume he goes to the Jets. Number 2, that seems to be what I think they will do. A lot of people agree with me. So I'm going to give you a list, and you tell me of these 4 guys, give me your order that you want for the Cardinals at 3. Okay. Francis Mauigoa, obviously.
You're going to see me look down because I'm going to write these names down. Go ahead.
Okay. Francis Mauigoa, obviously. Cardinals need more defense and offense, but they really need a right tackle. And he played right tackle at Miami. Edge rusher David Bailey from Texas Tech was the second most mocked player to the Arizona Cardinals. We have Sonny Styles, who you mentioned, linebacker from Ohio State. Once again, a huge need. And then Ruben Bain, edge rusher from Miami, was also mocked there as well. I'm not even going to mention Ty Simpson. We're not even going to go there because that would be insane. But so of all those 4 players, Francis Mauigoa, David Bailey, Sonny Styles, Ruben Bain, give me 1 through 4. What is the preferred order for you?
Well, I would definitely say Sonny Styles is the first one for me.
Okay.
I think that linebacker spot can make a big difference in what we've got going on. Sorry, I know you hear the rustling of paper, but I'm putting it up where I don't have to look down at the names all the time. Give me the edge rusher.
Real quick. It's very rare for a off-ball linebacker to go that high, but it's a weak top 10, and Sonny Styles is one of those rare talents that has safety, defensive back athleticism at 244 pounds. So anyway,
let's talk about Sonny for a moment. Sonny can stay back and play the pass, right? Sonny can also, he's got enough speed where he can come up and hit the runner if the runner makes it through the first line of defense. So I think that he can shorten the run game of the opposing team, and I think he's got enough skill to where he'll make you think twice about throwing it over the middle. So very few players affect the ball in 2 different ways, and Sonny Styles does that. So that's why I want Sonny Styles on this list. David Bailey, I think, is the second guy for me.
Okay.
Just because he's an edge rusher. It's a premium position. It's a position that makes a ton of difference in a football team. If you can flip the field with him, if you can get a sack, if you can get a turnover, if you can get a fumble, something like that, that can just flip a game. We both know that can happen. So give me the edge rusher, David Bailey second. And then honestly, Ruben and Maui, I think they're kind of a toss-up. particularly like either one of them at number 3, but I'm scared that they're going to take one of the two of them at number 3. I'm just being honest. I'm scared, and then I'm scared they're going to turn around and round in the second round and draft Ty Simpson now because of all the hype that he's all of a sudden getting. This guy was not getting anything until 2 weeks ago, and now all of a sudden he's the second coming of Christ. I mean, I don't understand it. I don't think it's right, but I'm scared that the peer pressure is gonna make them choose him in the second round.
The media influencers are getting the call from the agents. Hype my guy up. That's what's happening. We know what's happening. We know Dano did that. I made a whole video about Dano, represented by the same agency. Monty Ossenfort, this won't happen, but I would love for him to do what he did. Was it 3 or 4 years ago? Move down from 3, move down to 10, then move back up to 6. Something
that
like
wasn't an option, but yes, that would be my number one option, to be honest with you, because I don't think there's a player there. If Arvell Reese is still there, okay, take Arvell Reese.
Run to the podium. No, right. It's run to the podium.
It really is, 100%. Yes. But if Arvell Reese is not there, and you don't want to take Sonny Styles because of the things that you have mentioned, that's not a number 3 pick, that's not, okay, then trade down. Maybe you'll get lucky and Sonny Styles will be down at 10 or 12 or wherever it is that you trade, and you can still get him and you get another pick. I don't think so, but I don't know. It's for me, it's either Arvell Reese or trade down.
If for you guys didn't know, when the Cardinals drafted Paris Johnson, they had the 3rd pick, traded to the Texans, moved down, I believe, to 10 or maybe 12. Might have been 12.
I think it was 12.
Got a first-round pick, a future first-rounder, great move, and then moved back up to 6. When Paris Johnson was still there at 6, Monty Ossenfort, the GM, he's like, okay, this is my left tackle, and it was a great pick. Moved back up, so he gained draft capital, gave a little back, but still, and got up and got their franchise left tackle. And there's a video online, you can Google it on YouTube. It's fascinating, and it was such a great move, and one of my favorite draft videos I've ever seen. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think anyone wants the 3rd pick, but I would love to see them do it. Okay. How you survived? You
I did.
Flame at 5.
That might be a video for you though. Is who wants the 3rd pick? That's intriguing actually, because who wants that 3rd pick? Who would be willing to trade?
The only thing I can think of is if somebody is 100% believe that the Titans are taking Jeremiah Love, and you think he's like Bijan Robinson or even better. You think he's better than Ashton Gianti. You think he's on that level. I don't. I think he's very, very good. But even so, you're trading up for a running back. You'd have to give up. Even if a weak top 10, if you're the Cardinals, you can't move down to 7 or 8 and take a 3rd round pick. You got to get a lot more than that. You got to, you know what I mean? So it's just very, very unlikely, but you never know. Some teams, I did not think the Jaguars would move from 5 to 2 last year. So you never know.
It is very interesting. The first few picks of this draft are what's going to make the rest of the draft. And I like this draft because of that. Now, this draft, I think, is going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to do our draft. We're going to do the mock draft on the Sunday before. We're going to do it, as Chi said. For me, it's 5 o'clock. You can go over all the other times if you want, because I'll screw them up if I try to do them. And then I'll tell you, we've got one guy coming, and I'll tell you who it is.
Well, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and then 5 o'clock Pacific. And if you live in Arizona, we'll do it Sunday night. We'll do an hour earlier, and we will have Mike will host it. Myself and 3 other draft analysts will pick for 2 conference each. So we'll all make, well, I'm going to say all make 8 picks, but some teams have 2 picks. So yeah, we'll see what divisions we pick. We haven't decided yet, but go ahead.
All right. So last year we had some guys on with us. It was the first year we did it. We're going to do something very similar to what we did last year. It'll be fantastic. I can't wait to get this done. It was our most popular show. It's where I found Cheese. It's where he became part of this show. He's over there laughing because he knows it's true. So we're going to bring back another guy who was with us last year on the show, Med Smith. Now, Med is going to be on with us a little bit beforehand. I think, I haven't talked to Cheese about this yet, but I think we're going to try to do a special where all of us that are going to be doing the draft come on the air for like an hour and kind of introduce ourselves and tell each other about some stuff. That way we don't have to do that in long form when we're doing the draft. So we'll kind of do an introduction to everybody, let everybody know exactly what those people are, what teams they represent and all those kinds of things. And then we're going to do that draft on Sunday at the times that Cheese just listed, so I don't screw them up again.
8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And it was so much fun last year. And I'm excited about it. Do we have some comments? I think we have we gotten to comments yet?
Yeah, we got one more over here.
She's
yeah, Raman's got her eyes on us, or she's watching, or whatever that means. I'm old, okay? I don't know what that means. Okay, all right, good. I'm glad you got your eyes on that
watching.
too.
Got some people said hello.
Yeah, I put those up earlier, but
I missed. I was reading the Flaming 5-5. Okay, I missed that.
You're fine. Yeah. See, we'll throw everybody up here again real quick.
Okay. Yeah.
Not that one we won't, because they're asking for stuff that isn't going to happen.
Okay.
And then we'll put Raman back up again.
But no, it's a lot of fun, and I'll just say this: we'll see what divisions we'll let some of our guests, request what division they want if their favorite team is that division. Okay, but I really want to either be the NFC West or the AFC North because I want to pick one of Mike's teams. I really want him to be nervous. I want him to be nervous. So. We'll see.
Like I was just now on the Flaming 5-5. That's great. Let's just make the host nervous all the time. That's fantastic, Cheese. Thanks.
Like I could pick someone he absolutely hates just to mess with him. I could. You never know.
All right. So let's go and jump into this football thing here. I know we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions first, right, buddy?
Yes, we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions. We're going to have the logo.
You know what? Yeah, I've got to do. Yeah, I'm behind. I know. I'm
okay.
You got me all discombobulated here. I'm doing this. You got me doing the Flaming 5-5. I'm over here trying to do everything else, and then I forget to do the music here. Hold on.
It was a perfect time to do it because there's so much baseball going on,
right?
Opening week. So it was like, I have all these baseball questions for you. So it was perfect time to switch it up.
Fantastic. All right, buddy. I tell you what, let's go ahead and go with the football intro so that everybody can know what we're about to do. Here it comes. All right, buddy. Detroit Tigers are on the docket first. What do you got for us?
Well, the Detroit Lions, but Lions and Tigers.
Baseball so much right now.
So the Lions, they made center Frank Ragnow, longtime center, pay back part of his signing bonus when he retired. So former Lions linebacker, he's now a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. He had an issue with this and posted on X. I'm going to quote it. Played through fractured throat. 1 week post meniscus cleanup with stitches barely out, inoperable, unrepairable toe. And then he quoted again, "Hey, let me get my signing bonus back." And then he added, "Do business as business is being done." Basically, Frank Ragnow was one of the best centers in the NFL for years. In the last few years, he just played hurt. He played through injuries. I mean, fractured throat, stitches barely out. It's insane what he went through and still played at a high level. It's not like he was bad. He still played at a Pro Bowl level with all those injuries. So basically he had to retire, Frank Ragnow, because of the medical reasons, because he just was always injured. Do you have a problem with the Lions asking for part of the signing bonus back, Mike?
This is very intriguing to me. It's business, right? That's the way Detroit's looking at it. I mean, that's the way Detroit's looking at it because they're a football team. They're a business. The players are looking at it from a player standpoint because all the players think they should get all the money all the time. And to be honest with you, I don't really agree with either side. I don't think that the team should always look at it as a business. And I don't think the players should always look at it as, I want all my money all the time, because some of the players don't deserve near that much money, near that much of the time. That's why this is so intriguing to me. I don't have a problem with them asking for it back, but you're going to talk about this in the next few questions. but this could really spell bad things for Detroit. So continue with your questions, and we'll talk about what we mean more on that subject.
Well, I'll just say this: Frank Ragnow. I don't think I've ever seen a player with more injuries that kept playing. Anyway, hey William, uh, I I just he was a fan favorite, longtime line. I believe played 7 years. Did everything he could. He played till he couldn't anymore. Had neck issue. I mean, just of all the people to ask money back, it's not like Drew Dahlman, who just signed a free agent contract with the Bears, played 1 year for the Bears. They ask it back. I get that. It's just who it is just kind of bothers me. My next question for you is: do you think, because obviously he's unpopular with former Lions player and probably a lot of current Lions players, do you think this could lead to Lions players basically deciding not to play through injuries? Because if it makes it worse and I have to retire, then I have to give back the signing bonus.
Right. This is some of the things that I think. I mean, I understand where Detroit's coming from, but these are some of the ramifications for the Tigers if this is what they decide they want to do. I don't have a problem with this, but later on, when their players don't want to play through injury and they're squawking about that, it's like, no, wait, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You have to decide which way do you want this? Do you want the money back from the guy who tried to give his all and just couldn't, or do you not want your players to play half in and half out? Do you want to wait until they're completely healed and not when they could possibly come back and play, but when they are completely and totally medically cleared to come back and play? And this is one of the things that can bite Detroit in the butt.
I think so too. I think this is not going to be popular in the locker room. Obviously, like I said, fan favorite, well liked person playing through injuries, and that's who you ask. Yeah, I think this could bite them in the butt as well. And uh, the Lions, for many years, not only were they not good, they had a bad reputation. And two of the best to ever do it, two of the best players I've ever seen play, are Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. Both of them retired young rather than keep playing for the organization. It seems like they had changed things, like they turned it around, it gotten better, but I'm not sure because it seems like they're still not treating the players great. Um, do you think that maybe free agents will see this and like I don't really want to sign with the Lions. I'd rather go somewhere else, even if they match the money.
Yeah, this could be a second problem for them. So teams like, I mean, I'm a big Bengals guy. You know that. Most of the fans that are watching the show know that. They've got a really bad reputation too. And the Bengals kind of have to overpay people to get them to come play for them. And that then, puts a hardship on how much of the salary cap they have left and, things of that nature. So that's not something that Detroit wants to do. But if they continue to go down this path, I think that's something that Detroit is going to do. So again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You're asking for money back, but you're also asking for all these repercussions. I see both sides of the coin, and the more and more we talk about this, I think Detroit should just shut up, let the man keep his money, and not let all these other things bite them in the butt. What do you think about all that?
I do as well. They completely turned around their franchise. It was the biggest joke in the NFL until about 5 years ago. For many years, even with Barry Sanders, they would make the playoffs and lose right away. They would win 9 games, even with the maybe the best running back ever. Like that, they were a joke of an organization, and they flipped it around. They hired Brad Holmes. He's a great GM, great drafting GM, and it was looking up. And they've been very successful, at least regular season wise. And now you have this, and it just feels like the old Lions that just don't really care. It just they're concerned about money and not winning. I don't know. It just it rubs me the wrong way, and I thought they had turned things around, but maybe they haven't. Maybe they just have a really good GM, and it's just going to be the same old Lions going forward. So
Well, I don't mind them being concerned about money. I mean, I'm concerned about money every day. My wife and I talk about money every day. We make decisions based on it all the time. So I get that, but you just can't make the decisions like this in a huge business like this when it's just, okay, well, all I'm looking at is the bottom line and that's it. I don't care about the repercussions. You have to care about the repercussions.
yeah, uh, I just don't. If they don't ask for their money back, I'll just say this: no one's talking about this. It's not an issue. It, it's Yeah, I just think they created a problem they didn't need to. And of all the people, Frank Ragnow, who I don't think I've ever seen a player play through more injuries in my life, at least for what I saw or read. So, okay, let's talk about a rule change
Okay.
that was approved by the owners. So teams can now try an onside kick at any time throughout the game as long as they declare it and they tell the other team they're doing it. Last year, they made a rule where you could only do an onside kick in the fourth quarter and you were behind because they changed the kickoff rule where the defenders are closer to the player. It's definitely new kickoff, and that's why you can't do a surprise onside kick anymore. So basically, now you can do it anytime, but you have to tell the other team and declare it. Do you like this change?
I don't care. I mean,
Okay.
okay. I mean, when you look at this, right, no matter if it was third quarter, second quarter, whatever it was, we all number one, you're not doing an onside kick in the first half. All right. So let's just eliminate that right away. You're more than likely not going to do it. And then if you have to declare it, everybody knows it's coming. So the surprise goes away. I mean, that was the whole thing, was the surprise of it. And if there's no surprise factor, then why do I care? I mean, if Tom Brady's going to tell me in the announce booth that they're getting ready to do an onside kick, well, okay, well, here it comes, and I can put my hands team out there, and whatever else I need to do, and I don't know. The kickoff stuff in football was annoying me to no end, and this isn't going to help matters any.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but if you're down like 22, 24 points and late third quarter, you should be able to do an onside kick. I think that's why they're changing it. It's like you have to, okay, there's 2 seconds to go in the third quarter, and you have to kick off. Maybe we go for an onside kick then. If we get it and then get a touchdown, then we're back it. I think that's the main reason. But yeah, I get it. But
Jeez. If you're down 32 points in the third quarter,
22,
and whatever it is, the onside kick is probably not going to help you anyway. So just give up and put your second string out there and know that you've been beaten. Let's just move on with our lives, please.
Well, okay, that's a good point. But I'm just saying, I think that's the reason for the change. It's like we can do it anytime we want. We just got to declare it. Give teams more flexibility. Who knows? Maybe right before the half, they want to do it. Maybe there's 1 second to go in the half and they want to try it knowing the other team has a kicker that struggles. So if we recover, then we can try a kick. I don't know. Who knows? Just throwing something out there, spitballing. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's not sticking on the wall. It's sliding all the way to the floor. So.
Next question. Do you miss the surprise onside kick? Because Pat McAfee show talked about it. A friend of mine sent me the clip. He's a special teamer. He was a punter. He absolutely despises the fact you can't do the surprise onside kick anymore. What do you think about it?
I miss it. It's it was another piece of the game.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about something similar to this when we get to the baseball, because baseball has just put something into play that I think is kind of like the onside kick, and we'll kind of compare the two in a few moments. But yes, to answer your question, yes, I miss the surprise. I miss I wonder if they're going to. I miss can the other team get a good enough hands team up there to where if they do try an onside kick, they can actually recover it, or there's some intrigue there, and the intrigue is gone. And when you take intrigue away from sports, you're just punishing the fans.
Yeah, the Saints did an onside kick in the Super Bowl against the Colts at the start of the half. They were down, and then they won the Super Bowl. They never, they took the lead after that. So. Yeah, it takes away a play that could change the game. So I agree with that. Okay, let's talk about the Vikings, because this is interesting and hardly anyone's talking about this.
But wait a minute. When people agree with me, I like to point it out, sir. So William here says he misses the onside kick as well. This doesn't happen very often, especially in football. People usually don't agree with me, so I got to take all these I can get. Okay. Thank you, William.
Well, there you go. Let's talk about the Minnesota Vikings, because this has hardly been talked about at all. So I saw the other day they're expected to pick up the fifth-year option on wide receiver Jordan Addison. He was a first-round pick, and he's a good player, when he's on the field. But he has had multiple off-the-field incidents, including reckless driving charge, DUI, and trespassing. I have seen some mock drafts even that had the Vikings taking a receiver in the first round, even though they have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. The thinking is that they'll pick up Addison's option and then shop him to another team, which means you control him for 2 more years. And that the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, shocker, are expected to be a team that's interested. Do you think the Chiefs and Jordan Addison would be a good fit?
The Chiefs and Jordan Addison thing, I don't know about because there are several teams, not just Kansas City. I'm going to mute this mic and cough for a second.
Okay.
I don't know. I got a little something. I can't get rid of it here. So the Kansas City Chiefs and Jordan Addison wouldn't surprise me. Like the Baltimore Ravens and Addison wouldn't surprise me. There are a few teams that do that, but the majority of the teams in the NFL don't really want to mess with those guys. And I would probably be on that side of the fence where I'm not sure if I'd want to, is the risk worth the reward? Not with as many things as Jordan Addison has done. I mean, Laramie Tunsil, just to bring up another guy, who the infamous picture of him with the gas mask on and all the other stuff right before the draft.
Gas mask smoking weed through the gas mask.
It seems as though he's turned his life around. So I would be more inclined to say, okay, we'll give this guy a second chance. But the problem with people like Addison is they've gotten a second chance and messed it up. And they've gotten a third chance and messed it up. And you've gotten, how many chances do you give these guys? So if it's someone with one or two, I might give them a second or possibly even a third chance. But I definitely am not giving anyone, no matter how great they are talent-wise, a fourth chance. It's not going to happen.
I get it. And what's crazy is the Chiefs already have Rashee Rice. So he's been arrested multiple times since he was drafted. Do you think the Chiefs can really go into the season and tell their fans that our top two receivers are Rashee Rice and Jordan Addison? They probably have 6 of the last 10 arrests in the NFL. Can you really go into the season? They're very good. They're very talented players, but can you go into the season with those two receivers if you are the Chiefs? What do you think?
Your fan base has really got to buy into their talent if that's what you're going to do. Yeah. I mean, they can do it if they really want to. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting, so it's Kansas City. Not really known. I mean, I wouldn't consider Kansas City part of the the Bible Belt. Would you? I mean, I don't know. Is that
Kansas City? It will just the inner city. It's a flyover state. We'll just say that it's okay. A lot of their fans are probably Christian. Probably more so than say 49ers fans, maybe Patriot fans. I would say that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's going to be a harder sell to Kansas City people now.
The Chiefs, as we know, I think of all the franchises, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you think another one, but they take chances on character more than anyone, more than any franchise in the last, say, 15, 20 years. Travis Kelce had a characteristic. He fell to the third round despite his athletic testing. Tyreek Hill, there's obviously Rashee Rice. There's been a lot. They will take a chance on a really, really talented football player. You mentioned Baltimore. They do as well. They used their second round pick on a guy that was accused of SA twice. Yeah. So I don't know. Is there someone else you think besides those two?
I can't really think of a team necessarily that I think takes a ton of chances. And I don't even think that you would get much of a bargain with either one of those receivers either. Maybe you can sell it to me if I'm a Chiefs fan. If they're like, okay, so we're paying them the league minimum and giving them a chance. It's like, oh, well, okay, if they cut them, then we're only, okay, so it's only a few, 100,000 or whatever it is. That's nothing to a football team. So, okay, maybe I can buy it if it's that way. But they wouldn't be getting those bargains. They're not getting the bargain on their current receiver, and they certainly wouldn't get it on Addison, right? If they'd go to trade him, they'd have to give up, something for him.
Oh,
and then pay him too.
They would want at least, and the Vikings would want at least a day 2 pick. Now, the Chiefs have a lot of draft capital in the Trent McDuffie trade,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to necessarily pay him because if you pick up his option, you have him controllable for the next 2 years. So I don't necessarily have to pay him yet. You got him for the next 2 years. But Minnesota's not going to just give him away because they used a pick in the 20s 3 years ago to get him. So, and when he's not been suspended, he's been productive. He's been a good player. So,
But
I
there's you and I both know though. I don't not I'm not delving into your life of girlfriends or anything like that. But we all know that there are certain women out there who think they can fix anyone, and the Kansas City Chiefs might be a team that says, "Okay, we can fix him. Just bring him here to Arrowhead, and we will fix him." And maybe that's the mentality that Kansas City has.
You say girlfriends? Are you trying to get me in trouble with the S on the
No,
end?
no, I'm really not.
Hey, look, I'll say
I didn't
this.
say current
There,
girlfriends either. They're come on now.
sometimes it's a disaster, but sometimes you
Hmm.
get like Pac-Man Jones, who you know turns his life around. Had a lot of issues early on and does turn his life around. So it's possible. I'll just say this before we go on to the next topic. Chiefs can't do this. Like you can't take another chance. All the chances they basically had to trade Tyreek Hill. It just became such a mess. And then they draft Rasheed Rice, and he's been a mess. Like you can't get Jordan Addison as well. You can't have all these guys that could be arrested at any moment. You just can't. You can't. You can have maybe one, two guys at most, but I think this would be a huge mistake for the Chiefs if they do it. Okay. Last topic for NFL before we talk. Got a lot of baseball. The NFL announced the world champion Seattle Seahawks will be on Hard Knocks training camp on HBO Max. Mike, will you watch it, and do you even care?
I'll probably watch. Um, the first couple episodes will tell me if I'm going to continue to watch because let's face it, on a show like Hard Knocks, we want to see a train wreck. Somebody's got to be doing something really bad in order for me to keep watching. That's just the way it is, right? I don't watch because everybody's great and wholesome. I mean, I wish it was in a way because, well, I'll just leave it at that. I wish that was the reason people would watch, but those all those tabloids and stuff on the as you're going down the aisle of the checkout line, they never have good stuff on them and tell you how great people are, and you pick it up and go, "Oh, he's such a wonderful person. I'm going to buy this magazine and continue to read this story." No, we say how terrible they are, and they've done all these things wrong, and we're those things are done that way so that we can feel better about ourselves and our own screw ups. So it's one of those things to where I don't really want to, especially if it's going to happen during the baseball season. It's going to have to be must see television for me to continue to watch it. I'll probably give it an episode or two, but I do that with a lot of shows. I'll give a new show will come out and I'll look at the previews and go, oh, okay, I'll give it a shot. And if it doesn't grab my attention in the first couple episodes, then I'm never going to watch it again. And I think this Hard Knocks thing will be just the same way.
Yeah, some Hard Knocks are much better than others. I still remember the original one. Tony Saragusa Ravens was so entertaining. It was he was great. But
Mm-hmm.
my favorite all time is still the. It was 2 years ago. They've never done it. They never did it before. Never done it since. Off season Giants. They did Hard Knocks off season, and the Giants had probably the worst free agency ever. The players they let go, Saquon Barkley, Xavier McKinney, like first team all pros the next year. And then the players they brought in were all bust. Like it was I watched it after. I watched it actually after the entire season was over. I watched it from my channel and made a whole video about it. And I, he Joe Shane, the GM, made about every mistake you can make in free agency. It was terrible. It made him look so bad. In fact, no team volunteers anymore in case he looks that bad. But it's so entertaining knowing what happened after. So if you have not, you should check it out. I mean, he lets Saquon Barkley walk, goes to the Eagles. The owner is literally saying he's our most popular player. Don't let him go. And he lets him go to the division rival. And then Xavier McKinney, he's like, Packers are offering 17 million. Oh no. No way. No, that can't be. We can't match that. He's not that, boom, goes the Packers. And he just, blew it. But it was really entertaining.
I
Okay.
would watch the Giants right now, though. I think Jackson Dart would be interesting, and Cam Scattaboo and CTE and all that stuff would be extremely interesting. So I would tune in for the Giants now.
Oh, HBO Max will put a mic in front of Cam Scadwood anytime they possibly could. They want to hear it as a say because he's an interesting dude. And Jackson Dart's interesting, and Malik Neighbors coming off injury, and they have a new head coach in John Harbaugh. It'd be very interesting if it was the Giants.
The other thing that I'll throw in here as well, Cheese, I don't know if you've seen it yet or not. I know you had a busy day. I had a busy day doing some other stuff with our podcast and doing some other things that hopefully I'm going to be able to announce here in a week or two. But I did put up on our X at All Gloves Off SM. I believe it was the NFL released it today. They released some of the football conversations between when the draft players got their call. Basically, the Giants called this guy and the Cowboys called that guy, and they did one where the Titans called Cam Ward, and they recorded it, of course, and they released some of those videos today. That was kind of neat, and I would watch that, to be honest. I mean, if they did like a draft day, 2 or 3 weeks after the draft, if they did some kind of draft special, like, here's what happened during the draft, and we put a camera in the war room, and they just picked one team, and here's the they could even title it the war room or something like that, and I think that would be kind of interesting. I'd probably watch that in a short series.
No, I would absolutely watch that. There's no doubt about it.
Now, we just gave the NFL a ton of pub to create and watch, and it should be on All Gloves Off Sports Media just because we said it, by the way.
I would, I think we should host it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should host it, and I will be the one who interviews, and I will ask the questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right with that.
I kind of wish the Patriots were actually doing Hard Knocks. Travion Henderson. It'd be interesting. And Stephon Diggs isn't on the team anymore, but a lot going on in the Patriots. Let's not talk about that, though. Okay, that concludes the football segment. Let's talk baseball. I want to talk a lot about baseball today.
All right, we're going to talk a lot about baseball. So let me get everything ready here. Click the buttons. And, of course, we got to give you the best graphic in all of podcasting. Are you ready, Cheese?
Yes.
Here we go.
Maybe.
I just like that music. I like that graphic. I like everything about this thing. And of course, it is now baseball season. It is the real stuff. It's not spring training anymore. And Cheese, we have had 2 huge multi-year contracts signed by players who have yet to step foot on a major league field. So let's talk about them. Are you ready to do that, buddy?
Yes. I have a lot to say about it. I'm so glad this was in the notes.
Me too. I researched for about 3 hours today between everything. So, I got a lot to go with here as well. So the Brewers and shortstop prospect Cooper Pratt are working. I haven't actually seen where it's been official. I've only seen the word working on a deal that is set to be 8 years and $50.75 million with 2 club options. Club is important there. 2 club options, each worth an additional $15 million each. Let's talk about just the numbers and the years and the person right at the moment. Cheese, what do you think about this 8-year, $50.75 million contract? And then they tack on 2 club years, which means the player has no say whatsoever. The club has to agree to each of those options.
I kind of have a lot to say, but I kind of want to talk about both of them because, this is it was the Brewers, right? This is such a Brewers move. They did it. Did they do it with Churio as well before he ever played? Churio. So what they're doing is they're betting on the prospect. They're betting he ends up being an all-star, and we can save money because we don't go out and spend in free agency. We're cheap. So Yeah, the revenue of some teams, but still, the Brewers are cheap. They are very cheap. And so let's get ahead of this and sign him to a long-term contract and hope he works out. If he busts, they will, obviously lose a lot of money, but it will be a bargain down the line. That's what they're thinking. I want to hear about the other guy first because I have thoughts on both. I don't want to get too far ahead.
Okay. So let me do this here for just a second. Hang on, I want to get a couple of things here. The Brewers, as you're saying, are absolutely cheap. I don't think it had anything to do with it, but the Brewers did place they had to. They put Jackson Churio on the IL with a hand injury that he suffered in spring training. I have a lot of questions about this. I mean, right now you've got Bryce Terang, you've got David Hamilton, you got Luis Rengifo. They're all playing in their infield at the moment. You got Jet Williams, you got Jesus Made, and you got Luis Pena, who are all better prospects than Cooper Pratt. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand why it's this prospect. He's 21 years old. He's the shortstop prospect. He was just promoted to AAA this season. I mean, let's look at what kind of prospect he really is. Baseball America has him the highest. They put him at number 50. MLB Pipeline has him at 62. These are the top 100 prospects. ESPN at 70. The Athletic at 99. And Fangraphs doesn't even have him on their top 100. He had an okay season in AA last year. He batted, here's his slash line, 238, 343, 348, which gives you a 107 weighted runs created plus. I mean, geez, is this the guy that they should be worried about signing him long term?
So I'll defend him a little bit here. He plays for Biloxi Shuckers in AA. The Southern League in AA is the hardest. It's the best pitching league in the minors. For whatever reason, doesn't matter who the teams are, it's such a pitching league in the minors of all of them every year, no matter what. So it is a harder league to hit. I'm a Cubs and Braves fan. The Cubs and Braves play in that division, and there are some hitters that are great in high A, and their numbers are decent, not great in AA, then better, even better in AAA. Like, it's just a really good pitching league. So he's probably better than those numbers. Maybe analytics shows that he's just a lot better than that. Maybe he hit into some bad luck. Maybe they like his versatility. Maybe they like the person, the work ethic. There's got to be something. Because even the 50th best prospect, which is the highest of any list, right? 50 was the highest, I believe you said. Even the 50th best prospect is not usually projected to be an all-star. Usually top 10 or 15, you're going to be an elite player, top 25 all-star, maybe top 30 or 40, maybe perennial all-star. But even once you get to 50, 60, 70, you're like a good player, not a great player. So I'm very surprised by this. And I mean,
let me give
like you said, he doesn't
numbers.
strike out much. He doesn't strike out and he walks. There must be his peripherals look good. So they must think that he projects well to the majors, but it's still, even if you think he projects well, it's still a huge risk.
Well, yeah, I mean, you started me on this. So, I obviously, for those of you who don't know, we prepare these things ahead of time. We share notes back and forth and stuff, because to me, that's what good podcasts do, right? We prepare ahead of time for what's coming. I can't stand to watch a podcast and one of the people's going, so we know what we're going to talk about back and forth, and that just makes it better for all of you and for us as well, right? So
that
impression
was great. That was great. Oh man, I hope that's part of one of our shorts. God, I hope so. But go ahead.
So maybe it's his other numbers, as you started to say, Cheese. He has a 12.7% walk rate. He has a 15.2 strikeout rate. Think about that a moment. 12.2 he walks, and 15.2 he strikes out. That's a low strikeout and a really high walk rate, and they're both really strong figures. But he only hit 8 home runs. He did steal 31 bases, and he's considered a solid defender, but not great at shortstop. So I guess my question to you here before we do our fourth point, and then we'll talk about the Seattle Mariner guy. We'll combine everything together like I think you want to do here. But are the Brewers paying top dollar for mediocrity and just crossing their fingers and hoping for above average?
I mean, he probably ends up at second or third. But even at third, like, he doesn't really have the power. Maybe he projects to. Some guys don't. Maybe some guys, as they go through the minors, they add more lift to their swing or whatever reason. Stolen bases is big, so he's got speed. He's got tools. He's got some tools.
He does. It's not like he's talentless.
No, he's not. They obviously like him a lot better than the prospect rankings. There's something or multiple things, little things probably they like. Maybe they like his work ethic, maybe like his leadership. There's 31 stolen bases is very good. Although in the minors, 31 stolen bases typically is like 10 to 15. In the majors, maybe, they're much better in the majors throwing runners out. In minors, there have been some average runners have 40 stolen base seasons in the minors, but it seems like he got tools and they like him. They think he is probably a very high floor player. That's what I think it is. They think he's a high floor. He can be at least an above average major leaguer. So it's just really I saw that and I'm like, I hope Mike puts in the notes because this is crazy.
So I wonder this too. I think this might be something that a team like the Brewers does. This is not in your notes. You're not going to find it anywhere because I just kind of came up with it a few minutes ago as I was thinking about stuff. No. I wonder if the Brewers went to like 5 or 6 agents who represent these players. And they said, okay, we're looking to sign somebody, and we're looking to sign somebody for about 8 years in the $50 to $60 million range. Which one of your clients wants it? And this is the guy that said, yeah, I'll take it. And they're like, okay, let's start negotiating. And I wonder if some of the other guys, like we mentioned before, you got Jesus Made, you got Jet Williams, who they just picked up from the Mets in the trade. I wonder if their people said, no, we're not doing that. And so now they have to sign somebody to one of these contracts. And this is the guy who said yes. And now that's the person they're negotiating with.
You mean Jesus Made?
Is it Made? Is that how you say it? It's M-A-D-E.
I know. It's Jesus Made. Mike is never going to be ever pronounce all the names correctly, but I'm not even.
Especially not when it's spelled M-A-D-E. I mean, that's made, for God's sake. Come on, people.
I remember when Max Fried was a prospect for the Braves. I call him Max Fried, so I get it. That is a great theory. That might be it. Like, we want to lock up some people long term. We want to have a young core of hitters, and who is willing to sign for that? Or maybe they went out to guys that are higher ranked prospects and said 8 years 60, 8 years 70, 8 years 50 for you. They reached out to all these agents and all the players and see who would agree to the terms. And maybe that Cooper Pratt, maybe he bit and he's like, yeah, I want that contract. I hadn't really thought about that.
Maybe so. So let me give you these last couple things here, and then we'll go to the Seattle Mariner guy who is just as intriguing, and I'm going to put a tie into your Atlanta Braves too, by the way, before it's all said and done with him. Mm-hmm. Pratt is a Boras client.
Scott Boras. Super agent, Scott Boras.
Super, I'm not sure if I put agent in there, but
your favorite agent of all time.
So maybe they're thinking we have to sign the Scott Boras client before he makes it to the majors in order to afford it. And let me throw this wrench into this complicated and weird situation. 3 letters for you. PPI. Yes. Mm-hmm. Most people probably don't know what that is. Let's explain. Prospect Promotion Incentive. If a club and a player come to an agreement before his major league debut, the club is not eligible for the incentives on that player. So just so everybody can understand, I'm not trying to say people who are listening to us are stupid, but I want to make sure we all understand we're all on the same page here.
Most casual fans don't know what this is.
No, probably not, but I didn't really want to say it that way. Thanks for doing it for me, Cheese. If Sal Stewart, the superstar you talked about earlier for the Reds, playing first base for them, mm-hmm. if their club signed him to a huge extension before he came up, and then he wins Rookie of the Year, they don't get the extra pick for it. I don't know
Yes.
why that's in place, but it is. I had to look that up to make sure. I'd seen that on a couple of sites, and I'm like, really? That doesn't make any sense. But it's 100% in the rules. It is in place. I would think that that's counterproductive, but that's the rule. So I think this is why they're just talking about it. And the Brewers nor the camp for the player have said, yes, we have officially made this contract, because he's not on their 40-man roster yet. So if they put him on the 40-man roster first, then make a move, and then announce this deal, the Brewers will be eligible for that prospect promotion incentive as laid out in the newest collective bargaining agreement.
For those you don't know, if you have a rookie that starts the season with the team, not set down in AAA, and wins Rookie of the Year, finishes first or second, then you get an extra draft pick, and the player gets to be a free agent a year earlier. For the most part, for some reason, Cade Horton finished second in Rookie of the Year. He gets an extra year eligibility, but somehow the Cubs don't get an extra draft pick because I guess they make too much money in revenue. It's such a stupid rule. I don't like it at all. They're basically trying to bribe teams to get these rookies to break camp with the team. But how about just make a rule where once you are called up, then your service time starts? Why have a date? It's one of the dumbest rules of baseball.
And your Cubs screwed this up in the first place.
No, the rule existing in the first place. The Cubs third baseman got hurt.
Took advantage of it. The Cubs
the Cubs third baseman at the time got hurt. The next day was the day after he was eligible to come up and get an extra year.
Yeah.
Literally, he got hurt.
Really? You really think that?
Yeah, he wasn't going to come up if he wasn't hurt. He wasn't going to be called up. And
okay.
It's
well,
but it's
we can agree to disagree, but okay.
Why April 17th? Why do you let teams wait till April 17th? You're basically incentivizing teams to wait 2 or 3 weeks to call them up to get an extra year eligibility. And then you're like, okay, but we'll bribe you with an extra draft pick if you call them up earlier, then they gain the extra year eligibility. So why not just when you're called up, you're called up. That's when your eligibility starts. From that date, that's when it starts. It's so dumb.
It's about to be called the Connor Griffin rule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Connor Griffin. Yeah. And there's no guarantee. And this is a really loaded rookie class, especially in the National League. It's one of the best rookie classes I've ever seen. It's going to be there are literally guys. Drake Baldwin won Rookie of the Year, Cade Horton second. There are probably 4 or 5 guys that would have beaten him last year in this rookie class. That's how good it is. Like Sal Stewart's early favorite for the Reds. But I think it's a stupid rule. And I want to talk a little more about this, but I want to wait until we hear with the Mariners guy first. And
all right, so let's go with the Mariners guy. Let's do that. So Seattle Mariners, and they're signing an 8-year, $95 million with, again, a club option deal signed with shortstop prospect Colt Emerson. Met him, got his autograph. Anyway, cool. The deal is the highest for a player to never play in Major League Baseball. He beat Jackson Chourio by $13 million overall in his contract, and could, if all the incentives are met, he could actually increase this $95 million deal to a $130 million deal. And I think this is important. It includes a no trade clause. So, Cheese.
Yes.
Emerson, unlike Pratt, is a consensus top 10 prospect, but he has 9 games at AAA and only 34 games at AA before his AAA promotion last year. Is that enough of a sample size for a $95 million 8-year contract?
Once again, it's like with the Brewers. They must love him. He's definitely like you said, top 10 prospect. They must believe in his work ethic, must believe he loves baseball, must believe that he's not going to get the money and just check out. That's the thing you worry when you give someone a big contract is, will they get lazy? Will they stop watching film? Will they stop working out? Will they show up out of shape?
Will they stop? Do Kyler Murray? Will they?
Anthony Rendon, perfect example.
Yeah, that's a better baseball one. Absolutely.
That's a baseball one. Yeah. Kyler Murray, just check out. Just I got paid. Albert Hainsworth is another good example for football. Um, I at least he's a top 10 prospect. They did
Right, and
pay
that
him
is
a
the
lot
big
more.
difference.
It is. They did pay him a lot more though at the same time. But is it? I just don't think I would pay anyone that hasn't at least shown at least played 50, 60 games in the majors and shown something. Because some guy, this. Sometimes top 10 prospects just look amazing in the minor leagues, and they come and they're an average at best, maybe even below average major league player. They get to the bigs and they can't hit, or they struggle with a slider away, or they
Mhm.
just struggle with, or a pitcher just he dominates through Double A, and struggles a little Triple A. And he's got great stuff, and then major league hitters haven't figured out. So um, I, these contracts are crazy, Mike.
I know, I know. Now let's go this route too. Let me be fair to the Seattle front office here. Okay, so even though they're signing him to this massive deal, the current plan is to keep him at AAA. Now, the big league club has a newly acquired guy named Brendan Donovan, who I like a lot. They're playing him at third base.
Mm-hmm.
They've
Yes.
got J.P. Crawford, who was actually a free agent in 2 years at shortstop, even though he's on the IL right now. And they've got another highly touted prospect, Cole Young, at first base. And we can knock first base out because there's a guy over there that's going to be there for a long time, and Colt is not playing first base anyway. So knowing that he has 111 minor league innings at third and 75 minor league innings, not games, innings at second, where do you think Emerson's going to play? It's like this is where I wanted to kind of compare this to the NFL here, right? So I think what Seattle's doing here is what I've heard you say a lot of times in the NFL draft. They're taking the best player available and they're signing him to this long-term contract. This is the best guy in their minor league system, and they're saying, "Okay, we're going to go ahead and sign you, and we'll figure out what to do with you sometime thereafter." It's just like football team looking at their draft board and saying, okay, we don't really have that need, but he is without a doubt the best athlete on this board. So we're picking him and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, that's a really good comp. Here's the thing, like Brendan Donovan can play everywhere. You could
Mhm.
always call him up, play him at third, and make Brendan Donovan super utility. He can play in the outfield.
He can, which I
You
think he
can
will do before it's all said and done. Yes.
you could rotate the DH. You could trade JP Crawford because I think Emerson's going to play shortstop. So you could trade JP Crawford as well. Uh, so they'll find a way. That's a good problem to have. I always say that. If you have 10 guys that can hit, if you have 10 guys in your lineup, that's a good problem to have, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
If you have 10 shortstops, right, you probably got 10 really good athletes.
yeah, exactly. I just have a feeling they're going to end up trading JP Crawford, end up at shortstop, or they move Brendan Donovan somewhere else. That's just a guess, but it's a good problem to have. They'll find, trust me, with if he hits, and he is probably going to hit, they will find a spot for him.
I like this plan. I really do. I understand that they're paying him a ton of money, but I like the plan. I just don't know how long the plan's going to last. Let me explain here for a second, right?
Okay.
So Seattle should learn from their past mistakes, and this is where the Atlanta Braves connection comes into play. They promoted another top prospect to their major leagues with limited AA and AAA experience, and that failed miserably. He had 21 games at AA and 30 games at AAA before he was promoted. Then he was traded to your Atlanta Braves. They had him for 2 years and they didn't sign him. And now he plays for the Chicago White Sox. And in a money comparison, he's made 3.7 million so far in his 4-year career, and they're going to pay Emerson 95 million in an 8-year career. Do you know who the outfielder is? I'll give you outfielder.
Yeah, it's Jared Kelenic. He was traded for the Mets drafted him. He's traded in the Robinson Cano deal to Seattle. They got this great prospect.
Yep.
He was. I remember when he was drafted. He was a Wisconsin high school kid. He was supposed to be like the net 5-tool, absolute stud, one of the best high school bats, lefty outfielder. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember him very well. Yeah, he can't hit.
Just be blunt, right? I mean, he's with the Chicago White Sox now, so if he doesn't do
Oh,
good
he
over
fits in
there,
well.
I
He
mean,
can't hit. Yeah, he fits in well with him. He can't hit.
so Cheese, here's my question as we kind of close out this topic on these two guys that they're signing before they ever step foot on a major league field, which I think is fantastic, and I think it's also intriguing all at the same time, right? Here's the question, Cheese. After signing Colt to this huge contract, how do the Seattle Mariners balance getting the current value for the contract and still doing what's best for the player and not making another Jared Kelenic mistake?
Well, he's a better prospect than Jared Kelenic. Uh, Kelenic was just all about tools, more like tools than actually like Emerson. It just has a higher floor. Kelenic was always about the ceiling. When he was drafted, when everyone talked about him, and I remember there were some like Cubs bloggers saying, "Oh, we should trade for him. Oh, the Braves got him. That sucks. Like, oh, we should." Or the Mariners. It was before Mariners got him. Oh, I want to trade for him. Like, oh, I want those tools. So I think he's a better prospect than Kelenic ever was. But here's what I'll say.
Okay.
I do not think you should be able to extend anyone until they play at least one game in the majors. I don't like this, especially not on the 40-man roster. You should never be able to sign someone to an extension that's not on the 40-man roster, for sure. And I don't think you should be able to extend anyone that hasn't made their major league debut. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I think these teams are. You mentioned the Braves. The Braves were kind of the first team to really do this. They did with Ronald Acuna Jr. They did with Michael Harris. They did with Ozzie Albies. They signed guys. Okay, you're going to make more money in the short term. We're going to make more money and gain extra years of control. And the Ronald Acuna Jr. contract has been one of the best, like in baseball history. Not Salvador Perez good, but one of the best in baseball history. And these teams are trying to even get ahead of that. They're like, okay, well, let's do it at AA. And we don't even have to pay him 130 million. We can pay him 60, 75, 95 is this $1 million instead. And if they turned out to be one of the best hitters in baseball or a perennial all-star, then it'll be a bargain down the line. They're thinking way too in the future. They're way overthinking this, in my opinion. And I get a Boris client like the one with the Brewers, Cooper Pratt. The chances of you extending him once he becomes a major league player and is good is next to nothing. So this is your only chance. So I guess I get that, but I just think it's crazy. This has gone way too far. You should not be able to, and I want to get your take on this, extend a player. It's not even on the 40-man roster, hasn't even played a single, haven't had a bat in the majors. What do you think?
Well, I'm not going to say you shouldn't be able to, because I understand that some teams feel as though they have to. You know, some of these mid-market teams, which I don't even like that term. One of these days, we're going to talk about this because I can't stand that term.
I know you don't.
If you let me tell you, and I'll give you this real quick. Let's do this. Let's do clip. I'll give you this. If the Cincinnati Reds start winning and continue to lead this division, the people will come out and that stadium will be full and they will make money. You win, you make money. I don't care where you're at in the market. If you win, you'll make money. So I don't like this mid-market team. I understand what you're saying. You know, we shouldn't be able to do all of this. But at the same point, I also understand some of these teams, like if the Florida Marlins did it, I don't think anybody'd be saying a word. They'd be like, oh, well, the Florida has to. Or, you know, if Oakland did it, Oakland would be, oh, Oakland, they have to do it. And it's because it's Seattle. And Seattle is not necessarily in that market. So people were like, what are we doing? Nobody's really saying anything much about Cooper Pratt but you and I, because they're considered in that market. So I think it depends on what city you're in, how well you've done in the last like 10 or so years. And here's the thing. We've said it multiple times on this show. How do the Brewers keep doing it? Yet they're right there again. 3-1 with the Cincinnati Reds before today's games. The Reds and the Brewers are tied for first place. I know it's a short sample size, but it's like, how? How do they keep doing it?
I just think can you imagine if you are a Marlins team or small market or whatever, and you do 2 or 3 of those and you miss on them, then you're paying these guys, and that's money you can't spend.
Mm-hmm.
I just think you should not. Someone's not on your 40-man roster and you're giving them all this money. I think that's absolutely insane. They should. And if I'm a veteran player trying to sign a contract, I'm not happy about this. I, you're paying guys that are unproven. No. So Cubs just lost. They didn't score against the Angels. The Angels pitching. The Cubs just got shut out by the Angels. That's wonderful. 2-3 Cubs. But
Okay.
I just think this is getting. I get it. Young players. I like that what the A's did. The A's have signed a lot of the young core to long-term deals, eating up a couple years of free agency. They've done a great job. The Braves did it before. I think it's absolutely ridiculous for signing double AAA players to at least money, these big money contracts when they haven't even played a single pitch, especially someone who's not a consensus top 50 prospect. It's like we're just guessing and hoping, and maybe it's like you're playing the slot machine almost. You're playing blackjack.
Yeah, but
And
sometimes
if
you hit.
we hit on this, yeah, it'd be a bargain, but that gets GMs fired too. You miss on a couple of those, that'll get you fired.
In a minute. That's right.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go to our next topic here on our baseball talk. Here's the MLB poll question for the show. This was, again, you can blame me. So let me tell you about my life yesterday, right? So I stayed up. I've switched my overtime stuff around at work. I stayed up last night. I watched all of the Cincinnati Reds Pirates game late last night. I started around midnight. Then I watched the home opener for the Diamondbacks. Then I watched WWE Raw, and I looked up, and it's like 6 a.m. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? So I had to go to bed for at least a little bit. And by the time I got up today, half a day was gone. So blame me for not getting up and doing all this stuff that I usually do. So there's not a lot of votes on this, but hopefully people on the show will start voting for it. We'll post it up at the end. Here's the poll question for today. After a few games, do you like the ABS system more or less than you thought you would? So you can go more or less. Not very many votes. About 234 people have seen it. Not all of them have voted on it. It's been liked and retweeted several times. And there's even a comment on it here. I should look at the comment here real fast. Let me do that while I've got it pulled up.
I think there's
here.
something wrong. I think there's something wrong with X because it has the same amount of votes it said like an hour and a half ago. So I think there's something wrong with X because it's not showing all the votes, because the amount of people that have retweeted and liked it, like it should have so many more votes. So I think it's an X problem. This has happened to me with polls in the past. So I think that's the issue.
Okay.
Because I literally have friends that have voted and text me they did, and there's no way those numbers would be it. Like more like as many people have texted me that they voted, that they gave me the thumbs up when I sent it to them. So yeah.
And Mr. First Down says, I'll take more, please. And like I said, it's almost got 300 views. So you can't tell me that a bunch of those people haven't voted. I agree with you. But
we can next week we'll probably have, maybe it'll show up more what we can mention next week, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's 75 more, 25% less right at the moment. I would certainly vote for more. But
I voted for more.
Did you vote for more? All right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you 3 questions about it real quick, right? Is it fast enough so that it doesn't slow the game down, Cheese?
Yes. It's actually faster than I expected. And I'll say this. It's actually, I don't think it's not only is it not slow the game down much, I think it actually makes it a little more exciting because you want to see the replay, and then the fans watching it gets overturned, and it's just like, well, you're right. And a lot of people hate the umpires anyway. And it's like, it gets you excited. So I think or you just boo the player on your team that made a dumb challenge. So actually, in a way, I think it makes it kind of, just looking on the replay, like when someone challenges, I don't turn away. I don't click on the internet. I don't walk out of the food to get a snack. I'm riveted. I watch to see that. So I think it's actually had a really positive effect, not just for the excitement, but also, like I said, getting the calls right. So I think this has been a really positive thing. Even more so than I imagined it would.
Yeah, see, I love this. I predicted this was going to happen. I saw it during spring training live. A lot of, I know a lot of you guys weren't able to do that because you're not here in Arizona like I am. But it's fast. It's so the third game of the season between the Reds and the White Sox. Um,
CB Buckner?
I'm sorry.
Was that CB Buckner?
Yes. Oh yes.
DB.
So they have so they hit 2 home runs, and the Reds challenged 2 calls. And there was a much more of an uproar from the crowd on both one challenges than there were either of the home runs that were hit. And it wasn't close. So I agree with you. It's engaging. It makes me feel like I'm involved in a game because I'm like, okay, right? I'm come on, give it to. Am I right? Am I wrong? Because a lot of I was told, and we even said it a few broadcasts back, they were going to take the little white box away, but they haven't. At least not in the games that I've seen. I've seen about 20 games so far. Excuse me, and they haven't taken the little white box away. So the pitch comes in, you see it, and we talked about this too, the framing. Right? There are some catchers who are still really good at that framing, and they kind of snatch the ball back or they'll move it a little bit, and it makes the umpire say strike. But in reality, that ball was 2 inches outside, and the hitters see it. The catchers know it, but they're not going to tell on themselves, right? So it's up to the hitter. It's a game between the hitter and the catcher, and I absolutely love it. I think it's really riveting, and it's really adding a new nuance to the game. So I agree with you. It is fast enough. So secondly, Cheese, do you think it's having a positive effect on the game itself?
Yeah, I just said that. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to absolutely expose CB Buckner. He has way more missed calls than anyone. It's exposing the bad umpires. They got Angel Hernandez out before this happened, or he was even worse.
I think Angel Hernandez got himself out before this happened.
Yeah,
but
no
okay.
Kidding. Disaster. But thing is, like CB Buckner, everyone hates him. He's the worst umpire in baseball. He's a joke. They won't fire him, which they absolutely should. And it's exposing him. And he's not going to change. He's an asshole. He's an arrogant.
Family show.
Mama Cheese is watching. Yeah, sorry, I said ass. Apologize, kid. But he is an arrogant.
So you apologize by saying it again?
Yes. I still remember when he made a horrible call. It was the Cardinals were the team. I don't know who the other team was playing. So the Cardinals team, Ollie Marmol, the manager of the Cardinals, comes out there. It was either his first or second year as a manager, and CB Buckner could not. You heard the mic. One of them was like, I guess Marmol or one of the players on mic. You heard it, and Marmol. You couldn't. CB Buckner couldn't argue his call because it's terrible. So he just said, "You just got here." That's all he said. "You just got here," screaming in Marmol's face. "You just got here. You just got." That's all he could say, meaning like, "Shut up, you're just a new manager," because he could not argue his
point.
Don't show
me up.
Like, I despise CB Buckner, and I think that this is a great thing. It's positive because we're exposing the worst umpires. Worst umpires are going to get exposed, and MLB is going to have to do something about it if this continues. What the Red Sox-Reds game showed us, 2 plays in a row where Eugenio Suarez was called on strikes, which were not strikes, and he got both right. And did he end up? I can't remember. Did he end up walking on the play?
He ended up actually hitting into a ground ball that became an out, but. Not the point. She's not the point.
But he could have hit a home run. Like the point. Sorry, but the point I'm trying to make is 2 in a row. He's made bad calls. So hopefully this will force MLB to do something about the worst umpires.
So my last point on this, and we're probably going to talk about this for a moment. Do you think teams are using this rule to their advantage?
The smart teams, I guess. The smart catchers, the smart hitters. The hitters that know the strike zone well. When you say use to your advantage, are you talking about something specific?
Well, let me try to be the not so old man on the show, right? I think I figured out how to do this. I tried to do it last week and couldn't. I got with stop that face. I got with Ricky Logan. right? Who was a fantastic producer for All Gloves Off Sports Media. He's done a ton of stuff. If you haven't seen the new show, The Sports Pulpit, just go look at it and wait till you see the graphic things that pop up on the side. That's Ricky Logan. I mean, he's fantastic. I gave him little things that I wanted, and he just went to town on it and created something magnificent. He taught me how to do this. Let me see if I can do it. Oh, look, there it is. So Codify here gives us, I don't think you can see my mouse, right? Cheese, you can't see the mouse on the screen?
I cannot.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right. So
Listen to the comments if you can. Maybe I'm blind.
No, that's okay. No, I don't think you can. I just wanted to make sure I was right. So on this tweet, you can see that some of the clubs are doing it really smart. That tells you what clubs have challenged how many times. And if you look at the very bottom, okay, I don't think I have well, wait a minute. Yes, I do. Actually, I can go over to this. Okay, so look at the bottom teams, the Rockies, the Diamondbacks, the Pirates. They've got losing records right now. And then some of these other teams that are challenging a lot, the Yankees, the Guardians, your Braves, the Orioles, the Reds, Miami, LA, they have all got winning records. And that's kind of what I mean here. Are they doing it smart? And you're saying, well, the smart teams are doing it. Yes. And I think this list tells us who the smart teams are, who the better catchers are, who the better hitters are, who know the strike zone better.
It's the catchers and hitters. Pitchers don't challenge much, and they probably shouldn't because everyone wants to call. Every pitcher thinks they got that corner. So the catcher, it should be catchers and hitters. I honestly not even sure pitchers should be able to. I think it should just be catchers and hitters, but that's a topic for another day. But we'll see how it goes. At the end of the year, we're going to see some teams much better than others. It's just the way it is. But you also have more veterans in your team that know the strike zone. You have a manager that trusts. I'm sure certain players have more leeway than others.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like Alex Bregman, I don't think he's a huge walk guy, but he is really good at taking close pitches that are balls, right? He's very aggressive in the strike zone, but he's very good at that. So that's someone, if I'm Craig Counsell, 100%. Anytime you want to challenge, you're good. So I think it depends on the player and the team, but
right. I mean,
you have a really good catcher that's really good at that. That's going to be very beneficial for your pitcher.
Right. So I've watched about 20 games so far this season, and I've seen some things, and I kind of wanted to point them out to you real quick and out to our fans. I've seen several times where pitchers have this little motion that they do. You know, they'll usually flip their hand like this, and that kind of means to the catcher, are you sure you don't want to challenge that? Right? Like, hey, that looked good from here. Are you sure you don't want to challenge that? And the catcher will know, or whatever. And so the majority of these teams are leaving it up to the catchers. And then one of the other things that I've seen, and I want to talk about here for a second, is the Eugenio Suarez play that we talked about a few moments ago. Do you know what guts that took for Suarez to not only call it the first time, but then on the very next pitch say, no, stupid, you messed that one up too, and did the whole head tap thing?
Well, it's CB Buckner.
Well, I know it's CB Buckner, but I don't care what umpire it is. I mean, and here's the other thing. Last thing on this, I have seen a lot of writers say they need to have more challenges, like, oh, we need to have 3, or we need to have 5, and ladies and gentlemen, we do not. 2 is great, because I don't think a lot of you understand the rule behind 2. If you win your challenge, you get to keep your challenge. So as long as you keep winning, you always are going to have 2. And I keep hearing broadcasters say, oh, well, they need to save that for the latter innings. And no, if you know that ball that was pitched to you is wrong, go ahead and do it. Because again, if you win the challenge, you're still going to have 2.
Got to be sure. Got to be sure, though.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to be sure, but I don't know. I think it's going to be called even more as the season goes on. And it's going to be interesting to see which umpires get upset. Like CB Buckner was pissed when all that happened. But then again, yeah, and you're saying it too. You're like, good. You should be. You suck at your job, right? I'm right there with you.
Despise.
Yes, and it's going to be interesting, like I say, as everything moves forward.
Well, one thing you said, I just want to touch on.
Sure.
If you know for sure, so say you have a 1-0 count, pitcher throws a ball, right? And the next pitch, is a ball, but it's framed well and they call it a strike. And it's second inning 0-0, you're 1 out, nobody on or something. Go ahead and do it, because the difference between a 1-1 count and a 2-0 count could change the whole at bat. You're up 2-0, pitcher doesn't want to go 3-0. He's probably going to throw a strike. So 1-1, you don't know what he's going to do. He could do anything. So why not do it? Like I said, if you trust the hitter, if you know for sure, if you 100% know, it could change the whole at bat. Difference between a 2-1 count, a ball and a strike, 2-2 versus 3-1, huge for the hitter. Huge difference, and puts way more pressure on the hitter. Way more pressure on the pitcher if it's 3-1 versus 2-2. So yeah, that was a good point. If you know 100% sure, do it.
Yeah, do it in the second inning. What's the matter?
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out real quick to Michael Soroka. I don't know if you saw this last night or not. Michael Soroka for the Arizona Diamondbacks pitched an immaculate inning yesterday, which is 9 pitches, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts. Hadn't been done in a really long time. I wish I'd have wrote down all the stats, but it's. I don't.
It was done. There was a Cup pitcher did it last year, but it's only been done like 111, 112 times ever.
Yeah. And it was very seldom on opening day. I think it's only the 4th one on opening day. So kind of it was their opening day. I know it wasn't like the first day of the season, but it was the Diamondbacks opening day. So I just wanted to put that out there and give Michael Soroka his just due. Let's do I think we're going to do this little segment every week unless we decide that it's not good. Quick hits. All right. Cheese, which is the biggest surprise? No undefeated team or only one winless team, which is the A's?
A's beat the Braves tonight.
Oh, so that's no longer a thing.
Yeah, Braves, yeah, they sucked. They have a huge problem at the back end of the rotation. Huge problem. No, I mean, I think no undefeated teams is not surprising. It's at this point, I mean, it's hard to win 5 in a row anytime, let alone begin the season when you're still setting your rotation. You never know what's going to happen early in the season. Who's hurt? Who pitches well? It's cold in a lot of cities, so yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Okay. All right, so let's keep going with these quick hits real quick. That way we kind of get through this. We're going to do this one more small thing, and then we're going to get to our lights out list, which is our top 10 first baseman right now. One of the hardest lists that either of us have ever had to put together. Second of the 4 quick hits, the National League East, the Mets, Nationals, Marlins, and Braves are all 3-1 before today's games, and the Phillies are 1-3. Which is your biggest surprise? That a whole bunch of teams are 3-1, or that it's the Phillies that are 1-3?
Marlins are actually 4-1 in first place. Phillies did win today, so they are 2-3. But no, I just think the Phillies is the most surprising because their run differential is -15, even at 2-3. That's what's surprising. I know Zach Wheeler's hurt, but the Phillies -15 run differential is horrible. So that's the biggest surprise to me. The Miami played Colorado for three games. They swept them. So they played the Rockies. So you can't really, it's like the Brewers fans, those idiots on X. Brewers fans are nothing like Packer fans. They're completely different. But Brewers fans on X acting like we had the best run differential. Look at it. We scored the most runs of anyone. We scored 29 runs in 3 games. You played the White Sox for 3 games. And then when you played non-White Sox, you lost like the first game. So you can't act like you're the best team in the league because you played the White Sox for 3 games. Come on. So I just, Philly should be, I know they're 2-3 now, but it's a little worrisome with the run differential.
All right. We'll talk about run differential here in just a second. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and do it now?
Okay.
Yankees, Mariners, Nationals, Braves, Brewers are all already double-digit in run differential. Of those teams, Yankees, Mariners, Nationals, Braves, Brewers, which one is the most surprising that they're already at double-digit run differential? And run differential, if you guys don't know, the amount of runs that you give up to the amount of runs that you score.
Probably the Braves.
I don't know. I think I'd put the Nationals in there myself.
Well, yeah, I mean the Nationals. Yeah, I'll say this. Yeah, they did a good job against the Cubs. Mariners, just because that Kyle Riley's struggling, that's a little surprising because he's really struggling. But yeah, I don't think any of them are that crazy. Nationals, yeah, maybe a little surprised. They did, like I said, they won 2 of 3 against the Cubs. But I mean, yeah, they're 3-2 right now. Yeah, I got the updated standings. So yeah, I guess the Nationals probably.
Okay, I was
The
afraid
Reds.
to have
Oh,
too
the
many
Reds
windows
did
up. So,
lose. The Reds did lose today.
no, thanks for that. Appreciate it. I know they were losing. Was it what I think it was 6-1 the last I saw it because O'Neill Cruz hit a bomb.
8-3 was the final.
Hmm.
Williamson did not have it. Clearly, it did not
No,
have it.
no, he did not. But he's coming off surgery, so I'll give him a little break for the beginning. And honestly, he's not supposed to be in that rotation. Hunter Green's supposed to be in that rotation.
Correct.
So, yeah. All right. Lastly, here on these quick hits, the Dodgers are 3-1, and everybody else in the division is 1-3. Which one's more surprising? It really can't be too much of a surprise that the Dodgers are 3-1, but Padres, Giants, Diamondbacks, okay, the Rockies, they're all 1-3. Which one's more surprising to you, Cheese?
Rockies now 1-4. None of it surprising whatsoever. None of that. 0% of that is surprising. So I can't pick. Dodgers 3-1. Maybe Diamondbacks being 1-3 if I had to pick a team. I mean, it's only 4 games, but
yeah, the Diamondbacks should have won 2 of those games out in LA, but their bullpen's terrible, just like we said it would be. No lefties in the bullpen. I mean,
there are some teams that are just they're good lineup, good rotation, and the bullpen's like the Royals. It's like the bullpen could be their closer was hitting 91 miles an hour against the Braves. They had a 2-0 lead going in the ninth. They gave up 6 runs. If you're like the Royals and Diamondbacks are 2 teams that I picked the Royals. I know if you did, but you picked the Diamondbacks to make the postseason. It's like, yeah, look at their rotation, look at their lineup. They should, but the bullpen could be their undoing.
Yeah. All right. So here at the end, we're just beginning the baseball season. So let's look at 2 of our biggest takeaways from this almost first week of baseball. I'll start with it. So I've watched a lot of games. I said like 18, 20, something like that. I haven't, kept a tally or anything of the games that I've watched, but quite a few. There seems to be no true, real leadoff hitters. Last week we talked about Pete Crow Armstrong and where would he bat. He's got the speed to be the leadoff guy, but he doesn't take pitches. He seems to be more into hitting them over the fence than he does just blooping things into center field. And that seems to be all across baseball right now. It's annoying to me that there is not a real good I'll go up there and take 4 or 5 pitches so that the guys behind me can see what this pitcher's throwing. I'll lay down a bunt. I'll do what needs to be done. Everybody seems to be worried about hitting them over the fence instead of just getting on base. What do you think about that, Cheese?
Yeah, when I was a kid, the top 2 guys in the lineup didn't need to be home run hitters. They were guys that needed to see a lot of pitches, help the guys that are hitting 3, 4. 3, 4, 5 were your 3-run homer guys. People played for the 3-run homer. First 2 guys get on, maybe third. The 3, 4 guys were big home run guys that could hit the 3-run homer. If we hit a 3-run homer, we're probably going to win. So they were get on base guys. Yeah, Kenny Lofton, is a great example.
Yes, he is. And that guy couldn't even get 5% his first year in the Hall of Fame.
That's criminal.
Sad. But that's
a topic
ballot for another day. But
he's not on the ballot?
No, he's not on the ballot. He did not. So I know you know this, but you have to get 5% of the vote to stay on the ballot. His very first year, he did not get 5%. So he got knocked off the ballot his very first year.
If he got 50%, that would have been that would have been wrong. That's insane.
Yes,
because he didn't hit a homer. It's just the voters will go, how many homers did he hit? But yeah, I miss the guy that. The Cubs' first baseman, Michael Busch, is the leadoff hitter. Kyle Schwarber's been a leadoff hitter. They have no speed. I miss the guy that would get on base, automatic double. Like if he gets on a walk or single, he was automatically on second. I kind of miss.
I like me some Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky Henderson. Yes, Vince Coleman. I remember I had a Vince Coleman card. I remember that when I was a kid. One of my first baseball cards was Vince Coleman.
He was with the Cardinals?
At the time, I think he was. Lance Johnson, White Sox. I had that card too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Guess showing my age. Okay. Anyway, no, I miss it. It's a shame, but there's some lineups where everyone's going to hit like at least 12, 15 homers. Everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's just a different game.
It is. I don't like it, but it's a different game. And speaking of cards, if you go over to our guys, Red Hot Reds podcast, or if you go over and watch their new show on Mondays, Minor League Mondays, they're teaming up with the Hit Machine at Hit Machine Cards, or it might be at the Hit Machine Cards. I don't have it right in front of me. They're giving away a numbered, autographed Reds minor league superstar card. So go over to one of those two podcasts. I mean, I could tell you how to do it right here, but I don't really want to. I want you to go over and watch their podcast. So go over and watch either the Red Hot Reds podcast or their Monday, Minor League Monday podcast and find out how you, for free, by the way, can register to win that card. I'm a big baseball card guy, and you can see a few of them behind me, but you can't see but only about a quarter of them. So I've probably got, I don't know, 300 or so of them around here that are 90% of them are autographed. So,
oh wow, that's awesome. Some of us don't live in the state that has all this spring training.
I know. It makes a big difference. I got about 100 of them this year in spring. Well, no, about 70 autographs this year in spring training between pictures and cards and all that kind of stuff. But it's not the Valentine brag hour, so I'll let that go.
That'll be another show.
And that'll take a whole show. But anyway.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. Cheese, what about you? Give me your takeaways from this first almost week of Major League Baseball, buddy.
I think it's been exciting. I think it's been more about the ABS than anything else. I think Sal Stewart's weekend was pretty incredible for a rookie. Those are two takeaways for me. It's Sal Stewart. It's like every time I flipped around, he's on base, just gets on base. And the ABS challenges and exposing CB Buckner was very telling. And I've watched that video multiple times. Suarez back-to-back tap in the head. And so, yeah, every team has a loss. And hopefully there's more parity this year and not that team that won the last two World Series. Hopefully they don't.
Hopefully not. I will tell you this too, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are wondering, there have been a few ABS things where they've tapped their helmet and then the umpire has not allowed them to challenge. And the reason that is you have to challenge right away. And what that is doing is they can't look over in the dugout and be like, should I challenge? Should I not challenge? Or they can't get help from anybody else. The catcher has to tap their helmet right away, or the hitter has to tap their helmet. The rule is actually before they make another physical move. So before you drop a bat, or before you take a step, if it's ball four, before you take a step to first base or whatever it is, you have to tap your helmet first. So if you're wondering, that's why. There's been a few plays like that have happened this year. All right, buddy, let's go back to the regular background here for a second, and then we will look at our top 10. This is our lights out list. Of course, it's our top 10 first baseman. We'll go 10 to 1 and see how different these lists are. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a whole bunch of you still with us. If you have a person that you think should be higher or lower on this list as we start going through them, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll talk about them as we do the segment. All right, buddy, do you want to start? Or do you want me to start? I tell you what, do you want to start with honorable mentions for a change?
Yeah. You can do honorable mentions. You want to start with that?
I've got one.
I got two.
Okay.
So I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
He's playing first base, but his teammate that I have on my list was the first baseman last year, so I have to keep him on there. But Jonathan Aranda is for the Rays, I think will be on this list next year. When we do it next year, he will be on. But his teammate is now the DH, which I have on my list. I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah. But
I think Jonathan Aranda is no one's talking about him. Duke can freaking hit. He's off to a great start this year. And my other honorable mention, let me get to my notes. I couldn't put Josh Naylor. I just could not get him on there. Seattle Mariners first baseman, really high walk guy, good power, not great power, just solid, good player. Oh my God, I could not find a spot for him. I just had 10 other guys I like better. Those two. Who's your honorable mention?
Don't have Josh Naylor on there. Okay.
He's 11. Couldn't do it. Yeah.
Okay.
You mad?
Well, you're going to be upset with me here in a little bit. But anyway,
You got him pretty high, apparently.
I do. I do actually. I have him pretty high.
Okay.
So the guy who I would put in as honorable mention, I like him a lot. I like a lot of the character stuff in a lot of these guys too. And that is here's a guy who has almost a character. They do a thing in. Why won't this do what I want it to do? They do a thing in St. Louis, or excuse me, not St. Louis, in Kansas City with him. There we go. Now I can see you again. They do a thing in Kansas City with him. When he comes up to plate, there's a Sasquatch that comes out onto the top of the big crown in center field and does a little lap around and all that. So I like the guy. I like the player. I like his character, but he just didn't have enough as far as stats to put him in the top 10. So for me, Vinny Pasquantino is number 11. So he's my honorable mention guy before we do our top 10.
He probably would have been 13 for me. The problem with Vinny Pasquantino is not he can hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's his, oh my God, his fielding is falling off. He is just not a very good defensive first baseman. That is my biggest issue with him. And there's so many good ones on this list.
Okay. You want to start?
I'll start. Number 10. You ready?
I am. I'll throw some music on the background after you start talking. So go ahead.
Okay. Number 10. I know he's a rookie, but maybe I'm influenced by the weekend. But my God, I just had to put him. Sal Stewart of the Reds. It's very small sample size, but oh my gosh. It's just, he had a stretch where he had 13 plate appearances, reached base 10 times, and had 0 strikeouts. I think the first 3 games. I mean, that's just insane. So I think you picked him for Rookie of the Year. I probably should have, but Sal Stewart Reds is my number 10.
Oh. Me over the. Oh, you can't hear me?
No, go
Turn
ahead.
that off. Okay. So I thought you were going to rake me over the coals for it, but I put Sal Stewart at number 10 as well. I had to, man. He's my guy.
You have to.
I have to. 4 games, 8 hits, 1 home run, 1 K, 5 walks.
1 K and yes. And he homered.
Those were his stats for the first week. It doesn't count his game today. He struck out for the first time yesterday in his 4th game.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to. I don't know what else to say. I know it's only been a week, and he may just go south, although I hope not, but I had to. I didn't have a choice.
And I'll say this. I drafted my fantasy team, so that's good.
So you must be winning that league, buddy.
Anyway, I pitch it. Next up, number 9.
Next thing.
I have him probably lower than some, but he's just not a very good defender. I know he can hit. Obviously, he's one of the best hitting first basemen. He hit 38 home runs last year, 126 RBIs. Great. His defense sucks. Pete Alonso of the Baltimore Orioles. Originally, I did the list just offhand, had him 6, but moved him down because of defense. And some of these other first basemen, their offense is, right there, almost as good. So number 9, Pete Alonso, Orioles.
All right. Well, we are not going to match because your number 9 guy is not my number 9 guy.
Okay.
My number 9 guy, 257 average last year, 20 home runs and 80 RBIs. And the reason those are pretty good numbers. But the reason why I dropped him down, kind of like your reason behind Pete Alonso, is his poor defense. This guy, 44 walks and 122 strikeouts. I'll say it again, 44 walks and 122 strikeouts. Wilson Contreras of the Boston Red Sox is my number 9 first baseman.
I don't think he would have made my top 15.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that necessarily, especially because of that last stat. I almost didn't put him on the list at all. Him and Vinny Pasquantino were neck and neck here. So
I might even put Spencer Torkelson ahead of him. I don't think I
almost did that too.
I don't think I would have put Contreras on there. Not a big Contreras fan. Anyway, my number 8 is Rafael Devers of the San Francisco Giants. He's one guy, he used to be a third baseman and was traded to San Francisco. Boston completely screwed that up. So we moved over to first. And we did the third baseman list a couple weeks ago. he would have been higher on that but first base is stronger, so I couldn't put him higher than 8th. But he had, and I just completely I just lost my notes. Where did I go? I was scrolling out all my lists, but anyway, he was very good last year, offensive list. But I've lost where I had him. But anyway, Rafael Devers, number 8.
Yeah, I didn't put him on this list because I considered him a third baseman, not a first baseman, especially with all the good first basemen. I was like, oh, wait, I can take him off the list. So I did
35 homers, 109 RBIs. There we go.
Okay. That is, those are good numbers as far as that part goes. Number 8 for me, a 300 average, 25 home runs, 83 RBIs. And what bumped him up this list, and I'm going to bank you have him higher because you haven't mentioned him yet, and I know he's on both of our lists.
I will right after you.
Okay. Yeah. So, when we give stats to each other, we all have this stuff in our notes, and we're like, oh, I know who he's talking about. I know who he's talking about. He also had 175 hits this past season. That's Yandy Diaz. He is my number 8 first baseman right now.
And that's why I mentioned Jonathan Aranda. Like, Diaz is now their DH, but you still got to keep him first base because he played first base last year. And Yandy Diaz is my number 7. So that transition there. Yes, I have a number 7. He's just one of those guys that got better in his 30s. He was a solid player, and then he just got better. And yeah, I think 25 home runs and hit 300 is really impressive in today's baseball. Just he's been one of the most underrated players in baseball for several years now, but makes the All-Star game, I think, every year. So yeah, Yandy Diaz of the Rays is my number 7. Who's your 7?
All right. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that my number 7 won't even be on your list.
Okay.
All right. 261 average, 27 home runs, 75 RBIs. But I put him here more for his leadership capabilities and his leadership qualities than I did necessarily his production at first base. I think I came real close to taking him off the list. Okay. But as I started looking at character and all that kind of stuff, I put him back on it. Bryce Harper for me, number 7. Yes, number 7.
No. We're talking about Bryce Harper right now. My number 6 is Bryce Harper. Obviously he's not the same player he used to be, but it's still Bryce Harper. He still can hit. He still takes a lot of walks. And when I looked at that, I had him a little lower. I moved him up because his defense is better than I expected. So, Bryce Harper, my number 6. Yeah.
Okay. So my number 6 might surprise you that he's this low. It's a small sample size. I mean, I know I put Sal Stewart at number 10 with a really small sample size, but I couldn't put Nick Kurtz any higher than 6. 290 average, 36 home runs, and 86 RBIs for the Athletics. I don't know what the heck city they play in right now, but
Sacramento.
Yes, Sacramento. So Nick Kurtz for me is number 6.
So I know our lists have never been different, but I'm going to talk about Nick Kurtz right now. My number 5 is Nick Kurtz. We keep doing this. Okay.
I guarantee you my next one's going to be different.
Nick Kurtz, number 5. Yeah. So he had one of the best rookie seasons ever, 36 home runs, and he didn't even play what he played 2/3 of the year, something like that. He didn't even have 500 plate appearances, and Pete Alonso had over 700. Let's just put it that way. So Pete Alonso has 38 home runs and over 700 plate appearances. Nick Kurtz has under 500 and hits 36 home runs. He has gotten off to a terrible start this year. I don't care. He takes walks. He's got power. He was a top 5 pick. He's an absolute stud. I just couldn't put him, like you said, I can't put him higher than this because other guys, my top 4 is just, they're much more proven. They've done it year after year.
All right, my guy got traded. My number 5 guy got traded, and I think that's really hard when you get traded to a different club and you're still expected to produce. But he did. He 160 hits. He had 29 home runs.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let me do the last one because I think it's really impressive, right? So let me add the 2 up. 20. He had 30 stolen bases. I couldn't believe that. Josh Naylor is number 5 for me. So, like I said, I know that's going to be different because you said you didn't even have him in your top 10. So
I missed the stolen base thing. I forgot. I did. God, 30 stolen bases. He looks like a guy that would steal 1 or 2.
And get caught 12 times.
He's like 5'11" stout. He's built like he's just 5'11", looks stocky. He's not even like
especially with those high socks he wears.
The thing with Naylor is, I he didn't have, I don't know. He's not great defensively. He's fine. He doesn't have a ton of power. He's fine. I just love 10 guys more. I had to pick Raheem and Sal Stewart, and I had to go Sal Stewart because his upside's tremendous. Okay. Top 4. I'm guessing we have the same top 4. I think so. Well,
there's no way because you've already mentioned one that I have in my top 4, so no way.
Well, then I think you left off one guy that you left off one of my top 4. Okay. My number 4 is Michael Bush of the Chicago Cubs. I think he's one of the most underrated player in baseball. If you had told me like who was their best hitter for the Cubs last year, it probably was Michael Bush, and he did it sitting against lefties about probably half the time. So he's going to get even more at bats. He had 34 home runs, 90 RBIs, and he didn't start 30 or 40 games. So, and his defense just got better as the season went on. I think he had 2 defensive runs saved. I think he might double or triple that this year. He could be a Gold Glove winner in the future. So yeah, Michael Bush, leadoff hitter for the Cubs. I have him number 4.
All right. Well, I'm glad you mentioned him because, really? Hang on. I'm trying to look him up, but I must have spelled his name wrong. This is great podcasting right here.
Yeah. So while we're waiting, my video tomorrow, which I blanked earlier, is it's going to be all about I just lost it again. No,
it's the amateur hour here on the Lights Out Sports podcast.
Yeah. Totally just lost it again. This happens, Mike. I don't know why I keep doing that, but yeah, I got nothing. You got anything? Right?
No, I don't have it up yet, but that's okay. I'll get it here in a second. I'll go ahead and give you my number 4. Number 4 guy you mentioned earlier, he hit 272 with 38 home runs and 126 RBIs. I know that his defense isn't great, but I think his offense makes up for his defense not being great. Okay. So I put him up here. I kept moving him around, and every time I moved him around, it seems like okay, this is the one. This is where I need him to be. So I put Pete Alonso at number 4.
I mean, his bat is 4.
Correct.
His overall game, I had to move him down. By the way, my video tomorrow is going to be all about the possibility of replacement refs, what happened in the past, what's going on. I did a lot of research last night, all about that. So it took a lot of research to find out exactly what's going on between the referees union and the NFL and why they're not even close to agreement. It could impact the NFL season. So that will be tomorrow at Football with Cheese. Okay, number 3 for me. I scrolled down to find my notes on that. Okay, here we go. Number 3 is Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves. He won the Gold Glove last year. He's always been, when he was with Athletics, he won a Gold Glove, always been very good. Defensively, he's still not the player he was in 2023, where he had 54 home runs, but still 29 homers, 95 RBIs. He takes a lot of walks. He's just not elite, but he's just a very good hitter. 272, 366, 44, 29 homers, 95 RBIs. Matt Olson, number 3.
All right, well, we got to stop this. Matt Olson's number 3 for me too. Okay. 272, like you said, 29 and 95 RBIs. He wasn't quite the player that he had been a couple years prior.
Oh yeah, 54 home runs in 2023. He was yeah.
So again, I couldn't quite, do what I wanted to do. And by the way, I'm looking at Bush here for the Cubs. He actually played in the 155 games last year.
Played but didn't start. He would come in late for defense, but there's 30 or 40 games he didn't start because they didn't want to put him against a lefty, but he actually wasn't terrible against lefties. So I think he'll get a lot more at bats. I think he could be a 40 homer guy, even though he's a leadoff hitter.
And you're right. I did not put your Cub guy in my top 10. So that's the guy that I left out. Like you said, Matt Olson. Now you've got 1 and 2. So give us 10 through 2, and then we'll do 1 and 2. And they're probably going to be the same 2 people, I assume.
Yeah, we'll see if it's the same order. They are. There's no way we can leave those 2 out. My number 10, Sal Stewart of the Cincinnati Reds. Number 9, Pete Alonso, Baltimore Orioles. Number 8, Rafael Devers of the San Francisco Giants. 7, Yandy Diaz of the Tampa Bay Rays. 6, Bryce Harper of the Philadelphia Phillies. 5, Nick Kurtz of the Sacramento A's. 4, Michael Busch, Chicago Cubs. 3, Matt Olson of the Atlanta Braves. My number 2 is Freddie Freeman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He has probably been the most consistent player. Well, maybe not, maybe Jose Ramirez. Besides Jose Ramirez in baseball, he's just always good. He always hits for average. He always puts up some homers. He always hits some RBIs. And even though his defense isn't quite what it used to be, he did win a Gold Glove early in his career. He can hit. He's such a tough out. Freddie Freeman, number 2, Dodgers.
Okay. You mentioned Manny Ramirez being such a steady person. I
Jose.
don't think you'll. Yes,
Jose
he
Ramirez.
certainly is. Jose Ramirez. I don't know why I said Manny. His son might be better.
Manny
than he
being
is.
Manny. Mike being Mike. Manny being Manny. That's Mike being Mike.
That's it.
Getting the name wrong.
Getting the name wrong. Daggone it, man.
At least I remember what my channels. At least I remember what video. Oh wait,
I need a producer over here so I can stop doing all multitasking.
We need to get a producer like
right.
Fraser. We need a producer like Fraser has Roz. We need Roz Doyle. We need our Roz to be our producer because we're a mess. I didn't even know what my video was about tomorrow, even though I've already recorded it. Mike didn't get the name right. Okay. Anyway.
At least we're human. We're proving it right now. So
we're the old man podcast. We're changing.
Yeah.
Old man.
Yeah. Everybody just get off my lawn before I shoot you. Anyway. So you mentioned Jose Ramirez being one of the better and more consistent players right now in Major League Baseball. He is the guy that my newest podcast is on. I do the Sports Pulpit. You can see it right now. It came out about an hour or so before we started this show. I think you'll be surprised as to what all he can accomplish this year. And he can be the first player in Major League history to accomplish something. I won't tell you. I'll just tease you and let you watch the Sports Pulpit on our YouTube channel at All Gloves Off Sports Media. But it looks like we're going to have the same 2 people in the same 2 spots on the same list. For me, Freddie Freeman is number 2, even though I teased putting him number 1. I thought about it. The 295 average, the 24 home runs, and the 90 RBIs. And geez, the reason why I didn't is because I looked at Freddie Freeman and I said, well, shoot, if you can't hit in that lineup, then you can't hit at all. So that is honestly the reason why I bumped Freddie Freeman down to 2, and I put the person I'm sure you're going to put in the number 1 spot as well. Who'd you put number 1, buddy?
I had to go Vlad Guerrero Jr. of the Toronto Blue Jays. If you just look at his overall stats last year, you probably wouldn't put him 1 if you just saw stats. However, down the stretch, he was amazing. In the postseason, October, he hit 397, 494 on base with 8 home runs in 18 games in October. Insane.
Look at you getting the stats.
I did research for this. This was tough. I had to look at stats because this was really tough. But here's what's crazy about him. I always assumed he was a terrible defensive third baseman, moved to our first base. So I assumed I wouldn't put him first because his defense, even though outs above average, he was -2. He was 8 defensive runs saved. So he was a better defensive first baseman than Freddie Freeman last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be. He's one of those guys that could put up like a 310. He get over 300, hit over 40 homers, hit over 100 RBIs. I could see him doing that in the future. He is that talented. So yeah, number 1, I had to go Vlad Guerrero Jr.
All right, and I did the same thing. I went Vlad Guerrero Jr. I'm looking for something here. I'm going to see if I put it up on. Oh, I did. Let me see. Let me remember how to do this. Can the old man remember how to do it? Yes,
Great
he
podcast.
can.
Mike will sing. If you subscribe to the channel, we hit a certain amount of subscribers. Mike will sing for you, and he'll start a singing only podcast.
Let's not go that far. Now, can you? Let me go back to us here.
Let us know in the comments if you want to hear his beautiful voice.
Let's not. All right, let me see if I can play this. I think it'll pop up. Yes. Look at this. Okay. I think I have to go back over here and hit play. Now, this is what Vlad Guerrero gives you leadership and respect. And I want to ask you, Cheese, if this is a big deal. I don't know if you can see it yet or not, but watch yeah, watch what's going to happen here.
Okay.
There goes Max Scherzer. There goes Vladdy. Vladdy stops and lets Max Scherzer go out first because he knows that Max Scherzer wants to go out and lead the team out when he goes through his stuff on his day. Is that a big deal, do you think? I mean, that's just something that Vlad does that people don't give him credit for, right? Beyond the stats. That's a respect thing that he's given to a pitcher who's been in the game for a long time. What do you think about that?
I love it. Absolutely love it. He knows. And Max Scherzer appreciates probably more than anyone.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Just a lot of little things like that are important. And his father was an all-time great, and so he learned, probably his dad probably taught him the respect, that you show respect for your teammates and everything. It's kind of crazy that he looks physically nothing like his dad. His dad was this tall, skinny, lanky dude, and he's this like a little bit shorter, stockier guy. It's crazy, but they're both incredible right-handed bats. I still remember. I got to tell just real quick about his dad. I got to tell his story. Greg Maddux he has the best stories. I absolutely love them all. And how he set up pitchers and how he sometimes would give up a home run in a game that they're up 8, throw it right down the middle so he can set the guy up later in the season. Like he did that. But he was asked once, how do you pitch Vladimir Guerrero Sr., I guess, right? How do you pitch him? And he says, with his long arms, he hits all my pitches out of the zone, and he hits them well. Like I've never seen a hitter hit everything for a hit. So I just threw it down the middle. Might as well get a strike. So he just threw it down the middle every time.
That's funny.
Better chance of getting him out just throwing it down the middle, because at least it's called a strike if he doesn't swing.
Right? You got a 50-50 shot, right?
Yeah, yes. But he was a great bad ball hitter because of those long arms. He was such a good bad ball hitter. And his son is, I remember when the Blue Jays signed him internationally, because Dominican Republic, he got the biggest bonus. The Blue Jays gave him the most money, so that's why he ended up with the Blue Jays. Yeah.
That's what happens in this sport sometimes, but that's all right. Yeah. I had Sal Stewart, Wilson Contreras, Yanni Diaz, Bryce Harper, Nick Kurtz, Josh Naylor, Pete Alonso, Matt Olson, Freddie Freeman, and of course, the guy we just showed, Vladimir Guerrero. All right, buddy. Hey, this has been fun. We did a lot of baseball stuff today. Started everything off with the football. Can't wait for the draft. We got Med Smith that we just announced today that we know is going to come on the draft show with us. We're going to do that the Sunday before the draft. I can't wait for all of that. It's going to be fantastic. I know you are really excited about the draft.
It's my favorite time of year, my favorite weekend of year. Draft season, month of April is my favorite. Like I said, I do so many draft videos. I got rankings coming. I got individual prospect videos coming. Those are fun. The Mendoza one was kind of long, but most of them are 4 to 6 minutes. Mendoza probably went about maybe 9 or 10. I can't remember. But so we have all that coming in mock drafts. Every Monday we'll do one. And the Sunday before the draft, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast, we will do a draft. And it was so much fun last year. I can't wait.
Me too. I'm not drafting anybody, so I'm loving it. You guys draft all you want. I'm just going to host, so it should be great. I appreciate everybody that's going to come on. I appreciate all of you guys for listening to us. A ton of people listened to us tonight. We got some good comments, so we're very happy with the show. We thank you guys for making this show what it has become. Not only that, but everything on All Gloves Off Sports Media, including the Sports Pulpit that just took over, Red Hot Reds, the Minor League Monday that we're doing, and of course, Cheese on his podcast, At Football with Cheese. Anything else you want to add to the end, buddy?
Yeah, At Football with Cheese on YouTube, At Football Cheese on X. And yeah, just tomorrow we're going to talk about replacement officials, what could happen, and what's going on. I'm going to do a deep dive. I found a lot more out that media's not even talking about what's going on between the referees union and the NFL. And it's much more complicated. They disagree on a lot more things than people realize. So look out for that late afternoon, early evening. I've already have the video recorded. So
all right. And then of course today you just had to put out a video that said some Packer sucks. I mean, you got to do that every once in a while. Right?
Yeah, so I'm not a big fan of the Packers general manager. I mean, he's better than Matt LaFleur. That duo is just not working out in my opinion. I think the Packers underachieve. They definitely underachieved this year. But Brian Gutekunst, I just break him down. He's been the GM since 2018, and it's not getting better in my opinion. And I think it's time for a change. And they had an opportunity to fire him, and I went over all the reasons why they should. I gave him credit where credit's due. He has made some good moves, but I called him out for all the mistakes he's made. And his since he drafted Jordan Love in 2020, which was great, he has not hit on a first round pick since, and that's a problem. But Duke Tobin's your Bengals GM, so you know all about that.
It's true. I certainly do.
And Smart Chase.
That's it. Him and Burrow. That's it, man. All right. So we certainly appreciate all of you. Thank you all very much. And as we always say at the end of the Lights Out Sports Podcast, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base lines. Good evening, everyone.